The design arena was buzzing with activity for 2 days at the Festival of Architecture and Interior Designing 2014. A unique architects and designers project showcase, the Design Arena gave an opportunity to top 40 design professionals from across the country to exhibit their award-winning projects in a pictorial representation. The eclectic display had projects from hotel and leisure, healthcare, office, residential and retail space among others.
So here we were faced with this project, a small office building. What we looked at as traditional architecture, that every piece of traditional architecture that has existed there and still exists has used the jali screen. And it's this jali screen that we've incorporated in this office building. So what the jali does is it corroborates to the tradition of Rajasthan in the first place. In the second place, it reduces the heat gain into the building by 30%. Air conditioning cost is lower. So you have an office building which is energy efficient simply by its design.
The client had a very simple brief. He said, look, I don't want a distracting home. I want to experience the natural beauty of the site itself. It's a weekend house, so they would go to it perhaps at least two weekends of a month, if not more, and they like to entertain. So it's also a home built with this, considering this inside-outside relationship where gatherings could become intimate within the house, but, kind of explode out into the exterior, experiencing Damdama Lake and experiencing the Aravallis. In terms of technology, you could control this house before you even arrive at it. From your iPhone or your iPad, you can have the air conditioning systems turned on, the music turned on.
This sculpture that you see is a 32 feet high glass sculpture. It's made of optic glass, weighs 4 tons. Lights pass through it, and as a background to that, this whole glowing wall is an alabaster panel made in Barcelona. It's also the largest glass sculpture ever built in the history of the world. And what you see at the bottom, mosaic is usually an ancient technique, but this was used using new age CAD/CAM technology. It was done by the lineage of mosaic artists from Ravenna in Italy, who were lineage of 1,000-year-old artists, the same people who had earlier worked on all the cathedrals in Europe. We did some pretty dramatic stuff in this project. For example, the atrium, at the bottom of the atrium. This is a theme that has been used by Meridian worldwide in their ad campaign.
What is it that feeds an architect's soul? Some sure find inspiration in music. The festival reached a high note with the dynamic architect Rahul Mistry serenading the spirited audience. A fitting conclusion to the Festival of Architecture and Interior Designing 2014, the Design Icon Awards were dedicated to the architecture and interior design visionaries.
Let's pump in some more energy because it's time to felicitate our next young achiever.
Top designers and stakeholders were felicitated for their continuous contribution in changing the architecture and interior infrastructure in India.
And now let's hear it for our next achiever for the night.
Raising the bar, the Design Icon Awards are aimed at creating an industry legacy that would unite the practitioners for years to come.
Focus, ideate, innovate, enable.